Hello everybody, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. My name is Nathan Masters. It's time for another Let's Build review. Today we're looking at 76897 Speed Champion set. It is a new 8 wide from 2020. And the full name of the set is 1985 Audi Sport Quattro S1. I think we can usually just refer to this as the Audi. Is this the first Audi in Speed Champions? It's definitely the first Audi in 8 wide. And it's a very nice rendition of a rally car. So rally cars are specifically designed to be driven at the edge of what a car is designed to operate within, and you want to have room for a driver and a navigator in a rally car. So I'm really glad that we have a rally car in our 8 wide series, because 8 wide Speed Champions cars can fit 2 minifigs inside. I was taking a look at this on Brickset and using that really nice tool to look at unique parts and rare parts. And Brickset defines a rare part as being in 3 sets or less. So let's look at some of those real quick, and then I'll move on to more of a general review. The unique parts to the set are the printed ones, of course. So our printed hood, just a 4x6 printed hood piece. And then there's actually 2 printed angular wedge plates. So that is a print design on there, kind of tucked in by the back window. So those are kind of the 3 printed elements that are unique to the set. And in addition to that, where did my minifig go? Here he is. The minifig torso is also a unique print. So still getting exclusive minifig parts in our Speed Champions line. It's nice to see. After that, we get into some more of the rare parts, and again, rare just being in a few sets, in this case 3 or less. So these wedge kind of curved slopes, they're only 2 plates high, and then they narrow down to almost a point at the front. So each one of these has only been in 2 sets. This is one of them. And additionally, the white rims behind this decorative piece have only been in 2 sets. And then the decorative pieces have been in 3 sets. So the white rim here, slightly more rare, harder to find than the decorations, but the decorations only in 3 sets, so not that common either. The rest of the parts in this car are somewhat common, not to say that they're a lot easier to find, but those are the parts that you would more likely have in your collection. Some of the specific parts for the 8 wide Speed Champions now have been in quite a few cars. So these 2x6 kind of axle pieces, I can't really get the tires out now because they're so tight inside that fender. But yeah, these dark gray ones here, and then up inside you can see the black chassis. Those have now been in several of our 8 wide Speed Champions cars, so they're getting easier to find, but still a pretty recent part, so the more sets that we can have those in, the better. We'll take a quick look at the box. My camera's kind of close, so we'll have to do that, I suppose. So there's the box. Really nice art here with the rally car. Kind of a missed opportunity not to include the Navigator minifig. I feel like if you do a rally car, you should have both the driver and the Navigator. But one minifig is pretty standard for Speed Champions, so we can't expect too much there. We do have the official Audi licensing, so again, props to LEGO for really reaching out to the different car brands here and getting all of these licenses so they can do these officially licensed vehicles, like Audi, Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, some really top-of-the-line car manufacturers going into these partnerships with LEGO, so nice to see that. And then here is the actual vehicle this is based on, so modified front end, and that kind of thing. So take a good look here, because this has the box model has all the stickers applied on the sides and on the yellow here. The one on the top of the windscreen, I don't have all of them applied, but I did put on a few that I feel like, if you don't put the stickers on these parts of the model, it just doesn't do it justice. So the Audi logo on the roof panel, and then the numbers on the sides, you got to do those. Also the trademark 4 connected rings up on the front grille. So I tried to put on a few of the stickers, but I also like to leave some off, just because sometimes it's handy to have the part without a sticker if I want to use that again. And it's also handy to have the sticker just kind of be up for grabs for other mock projects. So for people that only build sets to display, I think you want to put all the stickers on. But for people like me that like to do a lot of custom builds and other projects like that, every once in a while I find myself using the official stickers for just added decoration to those builds. So let's look at the vehicle itself with the minifig. Here's our driver, and this driver does have an alternate face print and back printing on the torso. So sometimes we get one or the other. I don't know if we've ever gotten neither in the Speed Champions, but this driver does have both, the light gray gloves there and then plain white pants. With our 8 wide Speed Champions cars, we can now fit 2 minifigs in side by side very comfortably. It can be done in 6 wide, but it gets a little tricky. And in fact, the recent vintage car vehicle from the Ideas line has done that. It's a 6 wide vehicle and you can fit 2 minifigs side by side. So a couple different techniques to get that going, but for our 8 wide Speed Champions, it's a little bit easier from a design standpoint, and I think it's more realistic for the minifigs, although it does seem to outsize the minifigs a little bit at this scale. Just the way that the minifigs are proportioned is a little bit different. So there is actually a really in-depth article about this on Brickset with the proportions of cars versus minifigs and the wheelbase, how accurate is that. It turns out most of the Speed Champions cars are pretty accurate, but when you start looking at the car compared to the minifig is where it starts to break down. So here's our driver in place. The steering wheel is a little bit set to the side, so I'm not sure if that's something that could have been remedied, maybe with a little better solution. Can't get a lot of light in here. I guess the minifig is going to be offset by half a stud that way compared to the steering wheel, so I think there would be a way to make that steering wheel perfectly lined up with the minifig, but it would require a little bit of a rework inside by that dashboard. The seats to me here are a little bit weird, light bluish gray. I usually want to see like a tan color, a brown color sometimes, but I think this works. You sometimes have more industrial style seats in these cars that have been modified. And speaking of modifications, up here on the front of the vehicle, we have these kind of triangular rally lights attached. Now you can remove these pretty easily if you don't want to go with the rally look. Probably take off the 1x1 round plates as well. I just dropped that one. And now you have kind of more of a standard front end for the car, but it's still got the big air scoop on here. So if you start taking a lot of pieces off, I think you can get more towards a classic looking Audi, but it starts to detract from the model because these pieces were originally hiding some color mismatching, and it would require a little bit more work to get it looking like a regular Audi compared to the one that they're trying to copy for the Speed Champions line, where it actually does have the styling on the body and stuff like that. The spoiler may be a little bit large, but I can't really complain. It's a pretty good rendition of the vehicle that we want to see for the Speed Champions lineup. Everything else, color scheme, the white and the yellow, again, just compared to the reference material, a pretty well done version of this Audi, this car for Speed Champions. Looking ahead into 2021, now that LEGO has the Audi license, I'd like to see a few more vehicles, but we haven't heard a lot from the Speed Champions line this year so far, so it's kind of up in the air as to what we'll actually get, but this is a nice model. These fenders actually do a pretty good job of just bringing that design aspect. The Speed Champions theme has brought us a lot of great parts for vehicle building, so I'm glad that over the years we have been adding to the options for building vehicles just in terms of the parts that are out there. And I also like these wheels, just bringing in kind of more realistic wheels to the vehicle line. And you can take these, if you buy Speed Champions cars for parts, you can take these and use them in other projects. There's also a degree of versatility just in terms of where else these can be used. In fact, these have a Technic connection, so that increases it even more. And then by the time you get these rim decorations separated, get this thing off. I guess that's what the wrench is included for. You can get the end of the wrench and pry that out of there. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. And then on the inside, so you can get these in all different colors, and of course swap them out. Even down to like the holes drilled out for the brake the disc of the brake in there. Just the detail added into these recent Lego parts. We didn't have this wheel 5 years ago, if I remember correctly. So I'd like to see, you know, these pieces come in a few more colors, but again, in this set you get the white, which is only in 3 other sets. And yeah, you know, don't want to say too much more about this car, but I enjoyed it. This was a present from Josh, actually, from Christmas. So thanks, Josh, for bringing me an Audi set to my Speed Champions collection. It is not my first 8 wide Speed Champions. We actually looked at the Jaguar 8 wide, but I did buy the Ferrari. I just haven't put it together. Not sure if I'm going to build that yet, or maybe leave it in the box for a while and see what happens on the secondary market. Speed Champions cars I can see really holding their value really well and actually going up, as with a lot of the themes that have a longer lifespan and have kind of developed over the years. So the 6 wide versions of Speed Champions cars starting to get up there, depending on which one you have, starting to become more valuable. In a couple more years, that's probably going to happen with the 8 wide cars as well. So keep an eye on those. It wouldn't hurt to pick a few up right now while they're at regular retail price. Lego is usually a pretty safe bet, Speed Champions theme in particular. Just keep an eye out for the ones that maybe aren't moving off the shelves as quickly. Might be a bit of an overstock there, and in that case, those probably won't add a lot of value over the years, but who knows, could be wrong. It's kind of like the stock market. Diversify your investments. Don't just buy Star Wars sets. Buy a little Speed Champions, buy a little Minions. Never hurts to branch out a little bit. And that's the nice thing about investing is Lego, is the entry point is like 20 bucks, 30 bucks. Sit on that for a couple years, flip it for 50, flip it for 60, and you've made back twice your money. So a little bit of fun talking about that, but I think that's it for today, talking about 76897, the Audi Sport. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time on Brick System Brothers.